Hi, welcome once again here to my channel. I'm so glad to have you with us. Before I begin anything, I just want to remind you, like all the popular YouTubers, which I am not, to please subscribe to this channel, share it, pass it along to other people so that you get to know a little bit of what we're doing here in South America, Ecuador, and in the ministry, in the school, and just in general life here in Ecuador. Also, please ring the bell so that you get a notification every time that I upload new videos. Share it along, subscribe. Did I say everything? I think I did. All right, let's get started. Today I want to talk about basically the same topic that everyone else is talking about, which is really sad, but we kind of have to. Coronavirus. I don't know how to say it in English. I think it's coronavirus, I think. But I want to talk a little bit about that and what's going on here in Ecuador, South America. As you know, Ecuador is a very small country. If you compare us to Colombia, or you compare us to Venezuela, or you compare us to Peru, we're a very small country in the middle of a whole bunch of big countries here in South America. And today, we just, the government sent the notification that schools were to be shut down as of tomorrow. Schools finished normal today, but they were shut down completely as of tomorrow until further notice. Classes will be virtual with the teachers, and there is no permission for any kind of group meetings from 100 people and up. So unfortunately, this is going to cause a lot of chaos with the education here. Also with the transportation, which is something very different than the United States. As you know, not everyone here has cars. We depend a lot on bus transportation. And our buses are not like the US buses, okay? Let me clarify this. Our buses are ugly, they're old, and they're no seatbelts. There's no how do you say that? They're not comfortable. If there's no seats, you go standing, and usually there's people hanging outside the door. Literally, I'm not lying. So, unfortunately, that is going to be prohibited completely because that is a lot of people in one very small space sneezing and coughing over each other. Also today, as soon as they announced all this about the coronavirus and all the steps that they're going to take towards protecting the country of it, people went crazy in the grocery stores, crazy. If you look at the pictures, the minute that they announced it, there were floods of people going into the grocery stores and just emptying the shelves of water and canned food and rice and sugar and fruits and vitamin C, etc. So unfortunately, this small itty bitty country is going into a major panic. Yet, nevertheless, I can't ignore the fact that Ecuador right now is the #1 country with the most contaminated or contaminated people with coronavirus. Unfortunately, we are. We are the #1 country. We have the highest number of diagnosed people with it. Plus, they have also discovered people or diagnosed people in Paraguay, in Peru, that have come from Ecuador to there. So unfortunately, there is a lot of a high priority right now in this, protecting the country from it. I'm sorry that my English is not perfect. Unfortunately, I don't speak English on a regular basis except with my mother. Here it's all in Spanish. And usually I have very good English, but I haven't practiced a lot, so I'm sorry. There's a lot of terms that I need a little bit of patience with. Another thing that I just wanted to mention was I heard something that the President Trump is stopping all the entering, traveling for the next 30 days of people from Europe, I believe it was. And I think it's something very wise. I don't know what your opinion is, but I think it's very wise because we need to prevent. We do need to understand that we need to prevent. He's not blocking importation and exportation of things. It's just people. And I do think it's very important that we need to protect. It's just like when a flu comes around or the cold season comes around and everyone's getting a cold and you tell your kids, stay in the house so that you don't get sick. Be careful so you don't get sick. It's the same thing right now. We just need to be careful. The problem is in the United States, there is a lot of education. When I say education, I'm not talking about school. I'm talking about people being intelligent and protecting themselves. Whereas here in Ecuador, we don't have that kind of hygiene. Here, unfortunately, people sneeze, and I'm not lying. My dad's sitting here right next to me, and he can say I'm not lying. People here in my country still sneeze and don't cover their mouth and then their nose, or like they'll go achoo and then with their clothing. We still have a lot of that here in my country. So it's something, unfortunately, that people need to learn hygiene. things that they need to learn to keep themselves hygiene, clean, careful not to contaminate other people. But unfortunately, that is something that here it's very normal. That was one of the things I wanted to mention. But above all things, I wanted to bring to mind something that I feel and I think, and of course I want to clarify as a disclaimer in this video. I want to make it very clear that this is my opinion. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I'm just a simple person in South America giving my opinion and letting people know what's going on here, because there is a possibility that churches can get shut down. There's a pastor right now here in Ecuador that's criticizing the government, saying, why are they shutting churches down? Nobody has shut churches down. I don't understand why they're starting to say that. They're just saying that where 100 people or more are gathering together, that is prohibited. Samson, stop. I'm sorry, that was my dog. They're just saying that they can't get together. But of course, we need to understand something. God has the control of everything. He already said that these things would happen. It's in the Bible. And we need to remember the time when the Israelites, and as most of you know, I'm a Christian. I'm a pastor's daughter. I'm a pastor. I preach. We need to understand that when the Hebrews were slaves in Egypt, they lived a whole bunch of plagues, 10 plagues. And they had to go through all these different things and choose whether to continue believing in God or not. And in the midst of all of this, God protected them. So if he protected them then, why can't he protect us today? And we need to stop and understand this. And we also need to stop and understand that he says in his word in Psalms 91 that there will be no sickness. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, right? There will be no sickness that will touch my home. He says 1,000 can fall by me, 10,000 around me, but nothing will touch me. Okay, can you declare that? Can you say that? I can say that. I can declare that. I believe it. So we need to understand that, number one. And number two, we need to understand that even if it does touch us, even if we do get sick, because nobody's free. As you all know, my sister died of cancer. We are all humans here in a mortal world. And if a virus does touch us, there is another promise in Psalms. It is, I wrote it here, this is a Spanish Bible, so I'm not going to read it in the Bible. It's in Psalms 116, and it basically what it says is that God rejoices. In another version, it says that he is moved. He's happy. He is touched when one of his saints dies and goes to his presence. So for us, it's to gain life if we die. So in reality, when you have Jesus Christ in your heart, you have peace. In the midst of all of this, we have peace. So we do need to stop and understand that no matter what is going on, the head of all of this is Jesus Christ. He owns this world. And we need to start seeing the reality of things. We need to start understanding. And I talked about this in a video in Spanish a little while ago. We need to understand that there's worse things going on in the world. I'm not going to touch those topics right now, but there are worse things. The other day in Mexico, this past Sunday in Mexico, there was a feminist movement march. Now, hold on. I am a very big feminist. I'm not saying I'm in a feminist movement, but I believe that I am just as equal as a man. I really do believe it, and I hope you don't misunderstand what I'm saying, because I do believe that if I had a husband, which I don't, he needs to take care of me. I do believe that, and I will keep saying that, and he will be my head, and I will be his crown, just like the Bible says. But I believe that I can work just as hard as a man if I try. I believe that I should make the same amount of money as a man, and I know I'm not going to go into that topic because that is a conflict topic, yet in Mexico, this is why I'm mentioning this. In Mexico, in the capital, there was a feminist march, and cool. I wouldn't take part in it, but I don't have a problem with it. But they ended up ruining statues. The girls ended up ruining statues, burning places, breaking windows, going into businesses. They ended up doing such a horrible disaster of the streets of their country that it embarrasses me to say it was women. On top of it, they were going around topless, naked to show their power. I'm sorry, that is just saying I have no respect for myself in public. So I don't want to go into that topic because I know that's going to be a little bit harsh and strong. But we need to understand that this virus, we can protect ourselves from it if we use sanitizer, if we use alcohol, but the sin that is going around in the world, the sin, the way we are opening the doors to the sin in many different areas is more dangerous than this virus. Because if I, as a Christian, die from coronavirus, I'm going to heaven. But if you die from a sin, you are not going to heaven. So we need to stop and in reality, balance. Which one is stronger? The sin that is going around the world, which we're making ourselves blind to, or this coronavirus that is going around that we are focusing 100% of our attention on? Just something for us to think about. It's been a pleasure to be with you a little bit. Please put your comments. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you get all the notifications. Make sure that you write me a comment so that I know that you're watching me, that you're following me. Share with other people so other people get to know us better. Give me ideas. Send me questions of anything that you would like to listen to in the future. We are in Ecuador, South America. I'm going to show you a little bit right back here. We are in Ecuador, South America. This is from the balcony of my parents' room. You can see the window. It's actually beautiful. There is absolutely no sun at this moment. My mom is resting. She's got to go back to school in a little bit. Her school was completely suspended. They've got to make a lot of decisions. I don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen. We're having churches regular. We're not canceling anything. We're going to keep getting together. And we'll see what God is going to be doing. Keep us in prayer here in South America, Ecuador, Tumbaco, and we will be praying for you also. Please send us messages. Please give us ideas of things we can do. As I told you here, we're not as advanced as you are there. The internet is also not as good here as it is there. We need to find rooms where we can record. It's a little bit complicated, unfortunately. But please let us know. And later on tonight, I will be recording another video on YouTube Live in English, as I will be on Facebook Live in Spanish. It is my pleasure to be with you once again, and welcome to my life. Till next time, bye.